Right now, I want to bring in Bill Bishop, China watcher, author of Sinocism, and he has that newsletter, and co-founder of CBS MarketWatch. Good morning to you, Bill. The question I'd ask you is, here in the United States, we've effectively said that we're not going to close down, no matter what. China has been much quicker to close down at least parts of its economy. Do you see them moving more in our direction in the future, given what may happen as a result of those lockdowns, or do you see them moving in the continued direction that they've been going?
Good morning, and thanks for having me. Well, I think what's interesting is what we've seen over the last week in Beijing, where for what's effectively been about 250 confirmed cases or so, they have, in a much more targeted way, shut down parts of Beijing, but they've managed to keep most of it open and going. And so I think the Chinese certainly are saying or acting like they're very confident that they have the testing capacity. I think they said today they're testing 230,000 people a day in Beijing, as well as the sort of contact tracing ability, so that they're very quickly able to isolate anyone who's come into contact with people who have tested positive. They are still maintaining their centralized quarantine center. So if they think you're sick or had in contact, they're going to put you somewhere for 14 days. And so I think that they are, they've been focused on restarting the economy as well as controlling the epidemic. And so I think what we're seeing is the fruits of that, where they're taking a much more targeted approach to doing that, to avoid the kind of blanket shutdown or the blanket, we're just going to let it run rampant.
Right. What do you make of this report overnight? China suspending U.S. poultry imports. I don't know if you saw this is going to hit Tyson Foods and others because of some of the worries about COVID here. But how do you think this changes not just the economic picture, but the relationship with the United States throughout this?
So the Chinese have reiterated that they want to keep the trade deal, the phase one trade deal, intact. And I think they're smart to do that because President Trump has made very clear that's his most important objective in the relationship right now. And the Chinese see that as really the last kind of thread holding the relationship together right now. I think on the specific issues around the Tyson, I thought it was one or two plants and not all poultry imports. And also, one of the things they've been trying to figure out, or they blamed originally, was frozen seafood, salmon. I guess now they're looking at frozen meat, sort of this idea that these cases are now all being imported from outside. It's not clear the science backs that up, but I don't think the Tyson issue is going to get in the way of the Chinese government's efforts to at least make it look like they're fulfilling the purchase goals for the phase one deal, at least up through the upcoming U.S. election.